Hi there, intertwined art friends. Today we are making the 19th square in our Like a Boss blanket series. This is the watermelon square because we know that you are grabbing a juicy slice of success in your business, whether you are a work-at-home mom, a stay-at-home mom, a craftpreneur, a mompreneur, an entrepreneur, whatever it is. So we're going to go ahead and work on this square today. Here are some of the other squares in the series. Like I said, we're on the 19th one, so there are lots and lots of patterns available for free at intertwinedart.com. We've got all of the video tutorials here on the YouTube channel. Here's a little bit of my mess over here. And we now have an Etsy page as well, Etsy shop. So if you want to shop there for a large print ad-free pattern, you can grab it there. So let's go ahead and get going. We're going to start off with our 5mm crochet hook, and I like to use Lily Sugar and Cream cotton yarn. Here we have it in hot pink to start. We're going to start with the magic circle. So go ahead and take the yarn and loop it over your 2 fingers twice, then hold it on the side here with your thumb. Put your hook underneath and grab that back yarn and pull it under, and then go ahead and go under that back yarn again and pull it through. So now we're ready to start with our magic circle. If you're right-handed like me, you want to keep this loose tail over here to the left, so you want to hold that with your circle, and we're just going to work right in the middle of the circle here. So we're going to start off by doing 5 half double crochets right in the circle. So here we go. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then the magic from the magic circle comes by when you pull on this tail, it'll pull it tight for you. And if you wanted to make this a full circle, we would join here, and that would, make it, you would work in the rounds in a full circle, but we want this to be a semicircle, so we want this flat edge. So we're going to not join, and instead we're going to chain 2, and we're going to turn and continue working on the curved edge that we have already created. So here we're going to go ahead and get started on row 2 with 2 half double crochets in the first stitch. So there's 1, and number 2 goes in that same stitch. Your third half double crochet goes into the next stitch, and then numbers 4 and 5 half double crochets both go in the next stitch. Number 6 goes in the following stitch, and then you place numbers 7 and 8 both in this last stitch. So now we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and turn and start row 3 here. We're going to do 2 half double crochets in a stitch followed by a single half double crochet 4 times. So we're going to repeat that pattern for a total of 12 stitches. So here in the first stitch goes number 1 and 2. Number 3 goes in the next stitch. Then numbers 4 and 5 go in the next. Number 6 goes in the following stitch. Number 7 and 8 goes in the next. Number 9 goes in the next one. 10 and 11 goes in the next, and then number 12 goes in that last stitch. And make sure you don't miss that. Sometimes it's hard to see that last stitch there. So now we're going to chain 2, and what we're going to do is finish off this edge. Since it looks a little unfinished and bumpy, we're just going to single crochet evenly 8 stitches across that unfinished edge. So here's our chain 2, and then just start in this first stitch, and these are single crochets this time. So here's 1 and 2. There's no exact science for this, so just go evenly across. There's number 3 and 4. Here's number 5 and 6. And then 7 and 8. And that gives us a nice finished look on that edge. Okay, so now we're going to chain 2, And then we're going to continue to work along the curved edge with row number 5. So here we're going to repeat the pattern again of 2 half double crochets in one stitch together, followed by a single half double crochet. We're going to repeat that 6 times for a total of 18 stitches. So these are all half double crochets. Number 1 goes in the first stitch along with number 2. Number 3 goes in the next stitch. Then we place numbers 4 and 5 together. Number 6 goes in the next. Then we do number 7 and 8 together. Number 9 goes in the next stitch. Numbers 10 and 11 go together. Number 12 goes in the next stitch. Then 13 and 14. Number 15 goes in the next. And then 16 and 17 together. And then number 18. Now we want this to come up to the very top edge. See how we have a little bit of a difference here? So all we're going to do is put a slip stitch to that very first stitch that we did across the top. So we're just going to slip stitch. That gives us a nice finished corner here. And now we are going to clip off this pink. Leave a long piece so that you can sew across when we attach it to our blanket square. So leave a little bit of a tail on there. And then we're going to go ahead and join some white so we can start the rind. So just go ahead and pull that tight, pull your white tight, then go ahead and we are going to chain 2 with the white. There's 1 and 2, and we're going to turn our work. And then we're going to skip this very first little stitch. That was the slip stitch that we did. We're going to skip that. So just skip right over that and start in the first half double crochet stitch from the previous row. So here we go. We're going to do a half double crochet, 2 in the same stitch, and then 2 singles times 6 for a total of 24. So there's 1 and 2 together. 3 goes in the next stitch. 4 goes in the next. Then 5 and 6 go together. 7 goes in the next stitch. 8 goes in the next. And then 9 and 10 go together. Number 11 goes in the next stitch. 12 goes in the next. Then 13 and 14 will go together. Number 15 goes in the next stitch. 16 goes in the next. Then 17 and 18 will go together. 19 goes in the next, and 20 in the next. And finally 21 and 22 go together. 23 goes in the next, and then 24 goes in our last stitch here. Now we're going to grab some of the hot green yarn. We're going to clip off the white here. I need to get new scissors because these are getting dull. We're going to grab the hot green and we're going to do our last row here. This is a super fast little project. So join on your green. Go ahead and chain 2 and then turn. And this time we're going to do 2 half doubles in a stitch followed by 3 individual half double crochets for a total of 6 times for 30 stitches altogether. So here's 1 and 2 goes in the same, then 3 goes in the next stitch, 4 goes in the next, and then 5 goes in the next. Then we've got number 6 and 7 together, 8 goes in the next stitch, number 9 goes in the next, and number 10 goes in the following stitch. Then numbers 11 and 12 go in the same. 13 goes in the next stitch. 14 goes in the next stitch. And 15 goes in the next stitch. Then numbers 16 and 17 go together. 18 goes in the next stitch. 19 goes in the next. And number 20 goes in the next. Then 21 and 22 go together. 23 goes in the next stitch. 24 goes in the next. And then 25. And for our last set, we've got 26 and 27 together. 28 goes in the next. 29 in the next. And finally, in the last stitch goes number 30. Now here we want to leave a long tail for sewing because we want to be able to sew all the way around the rind with the green here, so clip that off. And then you're going to just take your tapestry needle. You can weave in the ends, leave the long green and the long pink for sewing, but you can weave in the others. Just with your tapestry needle, go ahead and get those all woven into the back side. And then we're going to grab a white square, and the pattern for this is also on intertwinedart.com and also here on the YouTube channel. You want to, as you're sewing on, just go through the top layer of that stitch, and that way it leaves your back nice and clean. So like I said, this is number 19 out of 24 patterns for this blanket. You can also use these appliques on garments and bags and pillows and lots of different projects. So if you are making anything else, we would love for you to share them with us on our Facebook page. We'd love to see what you're making. Please feel free to share this pattern with your friends. Remember that you can now find us on Etsy at etsy.com/shop/intertwinedartshop. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye-bye.